Hi everyone. I recently finished Theology, a very short introduction, second edition by David Ford, Order of the British Empire recipient and Regius Professor of Divinity at the University of Cambridge. There's some cool stuff here and there, but I didn't enjoy this book that much for two reasons. First, based on its title, I was expecting an overview of theology that covered all major religions. This focuses almost exclusively on Christian Trinitarianism. The author stated that the limits of the series' small format made a more general scope too constraining, and he also seems to mainly specialize in Christian studies. Fair enough, but I wish the title of the book reflected that. Also, as someone only vaguely familiar with the discipline of theology, I found much of what he wrote vague and hard to pin down, especially at the beginning. The book does get more interesting when it narrows its focus. I like the idea of the 5 types and 2 extremes of non-believers and believers, which I'll elaborate on in a little bit. I also enjoyed how the author offered multiple ways to find meaning through Christianity and try to reconcile the reality of evil in our world. It's practically impossible to come up with or receive a satisfactory answer to that, but the attempt was commendable. Chapter 8, covering reading the Bible in various languages and its translations, was interesting, as was Chapter 9, which tackled epistemology, the theory of knowledge. The author uses epistemology to make a case for faith without personal proof, which I personally found unconvincing, but still interesting to consider. I think this book is geared more towards those who are already getting involved in theology, as well as other students who have had it assigned to their curriculum. The general reader may find large portions of the book difficult to engage with. If you'd like to stick around, here are my top 5 takeaways from the book. Number 1, from pages 19 through 26, Hans Frey's 5 types, ranging from disbelievers to the most dedicated believers. Type 1, complete priority to some contemporary philosophy, worldview, or practical agenda. Type 2, takes external framework seriously, but also wants to engage with what is distinctive in Christian theology. Type 3, no outside framework is to integrate with Christianity, but dialogue between them is allowed. Type 4, commitment to Christian faith while relating it to other positions. And finally, Type 5, sees world through the lens of scriptural worldview, classic theology, or traditional Christianity, cuts off opposing arguments. Number 2, from page 75, the double mystery of good and evil. While not dismissing the effects of evil, some theologians consider evil not to be an opposing force, but a lesser substance that exists in the absence of God that must still be dealt with. Number 3, from page 80, critiques of Christian meta-narratives. Christianity is viewed by some as dangerous for claiming to have a special insight into the past and future, which has been used to dominate and coerce others. Examples are the Book of Genesis being used against women, and the Book of Revelation legitimizing war and persecution, among others. And number 4, from page 81, rebuttal to the meta-narrative critique. The author counters that one should place trust and hope in Jesus Christ in order to live in love with him and others. And right here is my favorite sentence in the whole book. The stress is not on trying to solve the mystery of evil, but on resisting it. And finally, number 5, from page 126, John Boker on misinterpreting Scripture. He asserts that some misapplications of Christianity are the result of lifting text out of its historical and literary context, and assigning absolute truth to it regardless of context. And I'll go ahead and read the full quote. The consequences of treating Scripture as though history and personality made no difference to the words and content of Scripture have been, in Christian history, horrendous. By lifting a text from its context and treating it as a timeless truth, Christians claim scriptural warrant for their murder of Jews, Matthew 27:25. By lifting a text, Christians found warrant for burning women whom they regarded as witches, Exodus 22:18. By lifting a text, Christians justified slavery and apartheid, Genesis 9:25. By lifting a text, Christians found justification for executing homosexuals. Leviticus 20:13. By lifting a text, Genesis 3:16, Christians found warrant for the subordination of women to men, so that they came to be regarded as a sort of infant, incapable of taking charge of their own bodies, finances, or lives. And that's by John Boker from the book A Year to Live. All right, I hope you enjoyed my look at Theology, a very short introduction, second edition, by David Ford. Like I said, this might be a little too much for the general reader to easily grasp, but if you're already interested in the subject of theology, there might be some good stuff in there for you. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.